expect it to, but I don't know what the load time is like, but it's going.
Perfect, thank you. Before we start, can we have the agenda up on the screen, please?
All right, post, say something. Sorry, is my sound on?
Perfect, thank you, Brad. I would like to call the meeting to order at 6:32. The second item on the agenda is land acknowledgement by Prateek. Prateek, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So, Centennial College is proud to be a part of the rich history of education in this province and in this city. We acknowledge that we are on the treaty lands of territory of the Mississaugas and the Credit First Nation and pay tribute to their legacy and their legacy of all First Peoples of Canada. As we strengthen ties with the communities we serve and build the future through learning and through our graduates, today the traditional meeting place of Toronto is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Islands, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work in the communities that have grown in the treaty lands of the Mississaugas. We acknowledge that we are all treaty peoples and accept our responsibility to honor all our relations.
Thank you so much, Prateek. Next item on agenda is conflict of interest. Does anyone have any conflict of interest to share? Seeing none, there was an update. So if there's any conflict of interest, this is when we would be having motion. So since we do not have any declarations right now, we'll be skipping the motion. The next item on agenda is approval of agenda. Do we have any modifications for agenda? Yes, Antarjit, you can go ahead.
Through chair there, I think Kevin is not coming, so Penny will be giving the updates as mentioned in the email before.
For sure, thank you for that, Antarjit. Brad, will you be please able to update the agenda with Penny giving Centennial College's update today?
Yes, it'll just take a moment because I'll have to go into editing mode here.
No problem.
I'm sorry, I will have to reshare that screen.
Thank you. Do we have any further updates? Seeing none, I'll be launching the polls. I'll be launching it for the motion. Only the board members will be voting for this. All 5 votes received, ending the poll and sharing the results. All 5 in favor, none opposed, and none abstained. Motion passed. Next item on agenda is approval of minutes. Do we have any updates for the minutes?
Yeah.
Yes, Ranjit, you may proceed.
Through chair to the board and Jen. Under my updates, point number C, it says that T Singh will be reaching out. It should more be like we will be reaching out. And for now, Penny and Abdullah are reaching out to past board members to get their feedback. And for point number E, the meeting on the insurance, it should be Abdullah instead of Ababar. And Penny should, I think Penny's name is not there. So Penny should be there, and instead of Ababar should be Abdullah. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thanks, Ranjit.
I have edits, but I don't know. That was a mistake on my behalf. It turned out that the Bombardier Center indeed does have a disability parking lot. they have multiple all around the campus. They're just not in the front viewing space where it would be very easily seen. I don't know if that needs to be updated or in the meeting notes or not.
I'm not sure, Penny, can you speak on this?
I'm going to reach out to facilities and see what their plans are for signage in that parking lot.
Okay, but since there was a mistake saying that there is no parking lots, and I did say that, should
Yeah,
it stay in this or no?
but Jen can just change it to say that we're reaching out, that you were incorrect, that we're reaching out to facilities, that you were incorrect in that assumption, not assumption, but in that information.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I have an update as well. Oh, yeah, Jen, do we have questions? Okay, so I have one more update to share. So in item number 14A, it is mentioned in the second page on page 9. JBLK further noted that the students can provide feedback to their teachers. I think it was to the advocates, and we have there, thank you for the question. So if we can update that. I think that's it. Do we have any updates? Seeing no updates, can I have a motion for that? I'll be launching the poll. Can I have a motion for that?
Taranjeet.
Taranjeet, seconded by
Abhinav.
Abhinav. I'll be relaunching the poll. I'm ending the poll, showing the results. All 4 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstentions. Thank you. The motion has passed. The next item on agenda is President's Report by Taranjeet Singh.
Thank you very much. A very good evening, everyone. Through the chair to the board, for the past 2 weeks, we had our full-time staff meeting. So we met with our full-time staff, with the board, and had a virtual potluck, got a lot of updates. It was fun, especially with the riddles that Donna and Josh had. We had our trainings with Leaders for Leaders past 2 weeks, and those were the last 2 sessions. Really great, the whole workshops of Leaders for Leaders. We had CSA meeting along with other board members. CSA was trying to give answers to the questions we had, and later that next week following that, CSA had a revoting on the new fee structure, and I voted approval because one of their main concerns was that they're not able to do anything because they do not have any financial resources. So in that way, now they won't have that excuse or argument they're not able to do things because of the financial. And also in their policies, it says that even if a member has to leave, they have to give a payment for the full calendar year. So no matter we were supposed to give something. So and now we will have more idea on what they can do as now they have the budget approved. But also after the meeting, as we discussed, that we will be giving letter of intent to CSA. It will put us on a safe side, because if they're not able to do what they plan to do, we will be on safe side, as we don't have to pay even for the next year. However, if they are able to do follow their strategic plan and do everything accordingly, then we can recommend the next board who will be coming that you may stay with CSA. But for now, we have approved these fee structure that gives them a chance, but we'll be giving them a letter of intent as well that will put us on safe side. I haven't sent it yet, but I'll be doing it in coming days. I attended College Council focus group with Tobias, so we were commenting on the SWOT analysis. It was really good. I had my welcome video made on last Friday with Natalie, in a park. It was really good, and most of you have already seen that, but it will be coming out very soon. Last week I had meeting with CSA, president's meeting, and same day I had president meeting with other colleges as well. I have been attending all the working group meetings. I had a meeting with Drink Smart Campus Support along with Penny. I sit on George Wicken Award Committee, so I have been working on that as well. And I had an interview along with Penny for the e-newsletter. And those were my updates for last 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Taranjeet. The next item on the agenda is CSA update by myself. I'll be handing over the chair to Taranjeet.
Sorry, Janet.
Yep.
Anyone has any questions from me?
Oh, sorry. Thank you for that. So if we have any questions for Taranjeet.
Okay.
I do really quick. Could you just recap the College Council focus group? You said something about SWOT, is that right?
Yes, so SWOT analysis of the college specifically regarding this situation we are in. I can share more information on this maybe later, specifically because it was, yeah. It was more of commenting on, what strengths the college has, what weaknesses where it can improve, what is going well, what is not really going well, and things like that.
Perfect, thank you. Do we have any other questions for Taranjeet? And thank you, Abdullah, for mentioning what SWOT means. So SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Yes.
Yep, Taranjeet, you can go ahead.
Yes, Jen. So it was more of for the strategic enrollment management. The whole focus group was around that. The strategic enrollment management. So how where the college can improve, where the threats are, to have its enrollments go well in the future.
Perfect, thank you.
Tobias had something.
Tobias, do you have a question?
We're the chair to Taranjeet. Quick question. Are we continuing to meet with these, with the SWOT analysis working group or no?
Through chair to Tobias, I haven't got any information on that, but they will be following up if there's any other focus group.
Thank you, Tobias, and thank you, Taranjeet. Any further questions for Taranjeet? Seeing none, I would like to move to the next item, which is CSA update by Janet Pilakia. Now, I would like to hand over the chair to Taranjeet.
The next item we have is CSA update by Janet. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Taranjeet. In the CSA update, I have some news to share. So the CSA president was in the news. St. Lawrence College Student Union and CSA President Tori Arnett was interviewed by Cone World Standard freeholder about the need for financial relief for the student this fall. We also have updated COVID-19 resource info sheet where any relevant sources of our information and support for back to school for this fall information is shared in there. For example, CERB, CESB for students. Opportunity to highlight your advocacy work. So if you are a student and you are an activist in the area of sexual violence prevention, the CSA wants to hear your story. CSA is working with the Courage to Act, a national initiative aimed to end gender-based violence at Canadian post-secondary institutions. And they would like to highlight your story and your advocacy work regarding this. The next we have is the policy committee. So we are glad to, I'm happy to share that Abhinav has joined the policy committee in CSA. So congratulations to Abhinav, and he has also applied and for the director position, the director 3 position at CSA. Next is CSA has participated in the Ministry of Colleges and Universities consultation. The consultation focused on themes of international education, micro-credentials, work-integrated learning, and digital learning. Last Thursday, CSA met with Colleges Ontario to discuss common priorities on the beginning of the school year. The Colleges Ontario also gave CSA an update on where college administration are in their plans for the new year and the precautions that they are taking regarding to COVID-19. There was a call out for students participants in MPP Chris Growell Town Hall. So CSA through our advocacy has invited and co-hosted a pandemic relief for post-secondary student town hall on September 3rd with MPP Chris Grover, critic for colleges and universities. So I think this is all I have for CSA update. Do we have any questions?
Any questions? Yes, Tobias.
Through the chair to Jeanette, how did that meeting go on September 3rd? Did you have a student participate or no?
So through the chair to BS. For now, I was not able to participate in that for some reasons. I was engaged in the college activities at the same point, but I believe we had engagements. I can get back to these in the next update and let the full board know about this.
Any other questions on CSA update? We can move on to the next item, Board Development Officer update by Janet.
Thank you, Taranjeet. So as my role as board development officer, I was setting up agenda meetings with Penny and Taranjeet for our full board meetings. I was also part of the advocacy interview. The second round happened to be in this month. So I was a part of the advocacy interview as well. And we have our advocates joined today with us, Gina and Javier. I was also part of the CSA working group throughout this month and to discuss on how meetings should be conducted moving forward. I had an opportunity to speak with the Library and Learning Center all-staff meeting, where we were able to discuss some of the concerns and some of the great things that the Centennial College Library is doing. Next is I was also part of the ECSLT orientation this month, where I was in the orientation of 3 to 4 different orientation sessions so far. And I was also part of the student panel twice, where I was able to share something regarding Centennial College, regarding CCSAI as well. And we had really great engagement over there. It's open for student leaders as well. So I would highly encourage if anyone would like to join the student panel, which should be on September 10th at 6 p.m. I was co-chair of the ARG working group. So I was co-chairing along with Abdullah, and we discussed on some of the concerns this month as well. I attended Pillars of CCSAI, and we had a foundation of 5 pillars that we are really looking forward to work on this year as board of directors. We attended a policy and revision meeting this month, where it was the members of the policy and revision were me, Taranjeet, Penny, and Abdullah, where we're discussing on how we can update our policies, and we are looking for a third-party consultant who could be helping us to look for to update our policies as we would like it to design. That's it for this month or 8 month. We also touch on several concerns like international students insurance concern, Sentinel student survey, engaging more with the students, updating and making necessary changes to CCSAI website, just to ensure that we have a smoother student experience and navigation. That's it from my side. Do we have any questions?
At this point, I would like to pass back the chair to Janet.
Thank you, Taranjeet. The next item on agenda is working group updates. The first update is ancillary working group update by Donna.
Hi, everyone. So our last meeting took place on Friday, September the 4th. And just as a recap, this group is made up of Taranjeet, Penny, Abhinav, and myself are now co-chairs of this committee. We accepted the illustrious position. Thank you very much. Abdullah and also Harsh takes the notes for this meeting. We again welcome the co-chairs, myself and Abhinav, and
Tony joined the meeting.
Hi, Tony. Abhinav reviewed the notes, and because we're not on campus, and mainly what this committee, this working group is set up to do is to look at ancillary services and to determine you know, some sort of process and protocol surrounding it and a way that we can move it up through an approval system. Being that we're not on campus right now, we don't have many items on the agenda for that. So the decision was made that perhaps we could move this meeting to once a month. And everyone in the group did agree to that. So that's what we will be doing going forward. We have some new provincial updates about gathering and events. So now, similar to fitness centers, not just 50 people in the entire facility, but 50 people per space. So that is an update from the province for events. And that is something that could fall under this working group category. We had made a couple of proposals, the Student Association, for through the 4 Hours Committee to the Steering Committee for curbside services to enhance what we can offer to our students in September. One of them was AWC equipment and also the Union Bar and Grill. So we were going to do a curbside pickup for both of those. And unfortunately, we've heard that both of those have been turned down for now. We are going to look into it to see what more we can do. I know that food services, I was told, was because there aren't that many students on campus. Perhaps as the numbers grow, we can revisit that one. And the AWC equipment, it's simply because we're just trying to limit the number of people on campus to slow the spread and to just limit any sort of contact that we could have. It's unfortunate, but we're going to keep trying. We are still working on our proposal for our partial reopening as per phase 3, provincial phase 3. But with these two decisions, I'm not sure how successful that we will be, but we'll just keep plugging along. Safety first, of course. We talked about SharePoint. Brad and his team have put together some great documents that allow us to capture all of our information and all of our proposals and our ideas in a way that's really central. It's accessible for everyone as well. We're able to, it's a standard way of doing things where in the past we would sort of send emails or phone call. This really keeps it centralized, and it'll allow for passing it on to future boards and future staff members and future learning. So we did highlight the importance of using the SharePoint document. Whenever we have ideas, just simply take it out of whatever you were using, your Word document, your email, and just plug it into the sections that are set up in the SharePoint document. I've tested it a couple of times and it does work brilliantly. Unless you're like me and you press the wrong button and delete everything, and then Brad has to help me out. Thank you, Brad, for that. We did some other business. We talked about surveys, and we also talk about with Abdullah survey questions, and I'm sure Abdullah will go to that, so I'm not going to steal his thunder on that. And our next meeting is slated for October the 2nd, 2020. And that's it for now. Any questions? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Since we do not have any further questions, we can move to the next item on agenda, which is Student Services Working Groups Update by Tony. Tony, are you with us?
Hello?
Hi.
Can
Yes.
you hear me now? Sorry about that.
Loud and
Okay.
clear. No problem.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So only a few updates from our group. A couple of the things. One of we've hopefully putting forward the proposal to bring the lawyer back on campus in some degree. I'm not sure if that went to that group or not. Donna could probably confirm that. The one that we're going to be putting another one forward to get our grad photographers on campus and get, hopefully we can capture all of those students that have already graduated in that capacity first, and then move on to our students that will be graduating moving forward. So we're going to be doing that. We discussed possibly expanding on what currently is our used book link on our website, and talking about perhaps a buy, sell, trade type expansion to that. In that, if I have some of the examples, I believe I sent to the working group for some feedback. Perhaps I have a bedside table that I want to get rid of for $5 or something to that effect. So I have spoken with Brad about that, and we're going to bat that idea around a little bit and see if we might be able to do something with that. And the only other thing I have is it's been requested that we review our tax clinic a little bit and what that looks like in other possible scenarios, whether it be an RFP, similar to what the process is we're doing now, where we have somebody come on campus and help facilitate all of that for students at a cost, or possibly working with, there's a government program that the CRA will help get people trained, and in this instance, students, get people trained to help students facilitate filing their income taxes online. So they would come in and do some training with our students that would necessitate recruiting students, but that would be a free service once we get it up and going, and all dependent. They'd be dependent on lots of things. Right now, when we do the tax clinic, it's pretty much every day for 2 months at different campuses. This scenario, we'd have to look at the possibility of getting that done, because I know even currently, the White Picket Fences that facilitates our tax clinic, they work with the School of Business to have accounting students help out with that sort of thing to get experience doing taxes. And I know this year and last year was a little bit of a struggle. There was less students wanting to be involved in that. So that would be certainly something we'd have to put a big push on if we decided to go that route. And that's it for me. Any questions?
Thank you, Tony. Yes, we have Tobias and Donna have questions. Tobias, you can go first, and we can have Donna next.
For the chair to Tony, a quick question. Since you mentioned the lawyers will be returning back on campus, this is Progress Campus we're talking about, right?
Yeah. So our thoughts are what it would look like is possibly, to use the big hybrid word that's being tossed out all over the place now. Right now in the Zoom platform, the way our appointments are being done, it's pretty much cut in half the amount of students we can serve every day, where before each Tuesday we would be able to serve approximately 18 to 20 students, depending on what it was they were looking for. Right now it's cut down to half, just because of all the processes that are involved, and some of the problems that go along with the Zoom platform and email. And some students have problems with email or bandwidth and all sorts of INT stuff that's that's associated with that. So that's made the process a little bit longer. We do lots of overlapping in that process. So some of the discussions that we've had, Nalima and I have had with what this may look like is, like I said, perhaps a hybrid where maybe we would do, the first appointment of the day would be in person, and then maybe the next appointment of the day would be by Zoom. And that would also give us the opportunity to facilitate students being at other campuses as well. I don't think we would be in a position right now to go back to being at two campuses just because of the nature of gathering. But I mean, we have to put a proposal in. We don't even know if we're going to get approval for that anyway. So it's in the infancy stages.
Okay, thank you. Moving forward, I would like to see, as you mentioned, a hybrid version that, if it is efficient enough to have these as well, so that students don't have to travel that far to get our services, so that they are more accessible to everyone in our school, especially at the Market Center as well. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Tobias. Donna, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair to Tony. So Tony, I got your email, and as I mentioned, the meeting that was scheduled for today was pushed to next week. Were you able to get your proposal in to the 4 Hours Committee?
Oh, I thought it was supposed to go to you. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought that I sent it to you guys and then you guys put it in.
Yeah, I didn't receive it. That's why I was asking. I wasn't clear.
Oh, okay.
I didn't receive it. So, but as soon as I do, I mean, they postponed it anyways, which they've been doing a lot lately. I think there's a lot on the docket for the steering committee. So yeah, send it our way and we'll get it in this week for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. No worries.
Thank you, Donna. Do we have any further questions for Tony? Seeing no further questions, I would like to thank Tony and move ahead to the next item on agenda, which is Programming and Events Working Group Update by Brad.
Okay, thanks, folks.
Thank you very much, Janet. Through the chair to the board, thank you for having me here to give an update on behalf of the Programming Events Working Group. I guess I will start by saying welcome to Gina and Javier. This is, I think, my first time getting to meet you folks, so welcome to the board. A pleasure to have you as a part of the team. I have a very exciting update for everybody today, which is there is no update on behalf of the Programming Events Working Group. So we have not met since the last board meeting that we had. We've just been hard at work in putting together logistics for the Frosh at Home series that will be kicking off next week. So I'll probably use the time then to highlight what's going on for next week for folks that aren't fully in the loop for it. So on the 14th and 15th, we'll be having some online mixers, which will be hosted networking and mix and mingle suites. We'll also be doing a full wellness suite of events on the Wednesday in partnership with athletics. Also on the Wednesday, we will be launching the first episode of our CCSAI games, in which our very own Tobias was a competitor for us. He did an amazing job of stepping in. Then on the 17th, we have our scavenger hunt, and the 18th will be our DJ bingo night. So again, all of the events will be posted online, either through Instagram or Zoom. The calendar for the events is up at ccsai.ca/events, and it's also up at ccsai.ca/Frosh@home. As well, on that Frosh at Home link is the sign up for the mail out kits. I do have to report that we have since discovered a hiccup in our external email. The request went in to do an email out to the full incoming class. Unfortunately, because it was sent from outside of the college's network and not through a VPN, they haven't been able to do anything with it. It was rejected by the server. So when we're back on campus tomorrow to do some of the prep for the mail out, I'll be sending that in from within the college's network. So that should go out tomorrow or Thursday. So all the students registered for the fall semester will be getting an introductory email to say, hey, we're the CCSAI, your student voice. here's how we can help you, and then it'll have the links to both the suggestion box as well as the Frosh at Home to sign up for those kits. So we currently have about 140 folks registered to receive the kits, and so we're hoping for a good push after that. Email goes out to put those numbers up. Timing works out pretty well because we are still waiting right now on the delivery of our masks. Handbooks just came in this afternoon, and the t-shirts from athletics and recreation will be coming in tomorrow. So we're hoping by end of day tomorrow we'll have all the items. So tomorrow, for those that are available to help us with writing cards and folding down t-shirts and getting ready to pack and fulfill the orders, greatly appreciated. And I think I will wrap with just a reminder for everyone, if you're available, we are hoping to shoot all of the board spotlight videos tomorrow ahead of the training. And it'll just be a quick sit down with each board member to ask a few rapid fire questions and a couple open-ended questions that we can then cut into a couple different videos to release throughout the semester, just to give students a chance to get to know a little bit more about each of our board members.
Thank you, Brad. Do we have questions for Brad? Saying no questions, I have 2 questions. So first of all, are the frost grades open for every student, or are they just for the new students?
They're open for every student. The only limitation we have on it currently is we have right now, just based on the budget for it, committed to only shipping domestically within Canada. But what we have said is for anyone who registers for a kit internationally, we will hold those kits for them until such time as they're in the country. And if we do have folks that that are in our programs that are completely virtual from beginning to end, then we can certainly look at what number those are and what the cost is, and figure out if it's feasible to get a package to them.
Perfect, thank you. And when can the students expect the frost kit delivered to their home address?
Yeah, so our original hope was to have them mailed out this week, and we certainly can mail out the ones that we've received, presumably by the end of the week, provided everything comes in for it. And then it really will then just depend on how far they are from the sorting and fulfillment center for how long it takes to get there, but they should get it within 2 to 3 days, which would put it midweek next week for the first initial batch. But we will keep that, again, our goal is to give out 1,000 kits, so we will keep that sign up open until we're able to give out 1,000.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem.
If we do not have any further questions, we can move to the next item. Seeing no further questions, I would like to thank Brad once again. And moving on to the next item, which is working group update by Abdullah on Advocacy, Research and Governance Working Group.
Hi, everybody. Through the chair to the board, good evening. So the Advocacy, Research, Governance Working Group, since the last board meeting, the first thing is we've now moved to every other week. So instead of meeting every week for an hour and a half, we're bi-weekly. So our next meeting will be a week from today. So some of the issues we've been working on, first, international student insurance. And I think that's something that the entire board is quite familiar with. So we're hoping to have a meeting with the college on that pretty soon. Also, we discussed surveys, the myriad of surveys that are going on right now. Specifically, the COVID survey. We're working with the college on making sure that our information doesn't overlap with their information, just so students don't have survey fatigue. So that meeting is scheduled for Thursday to have with the college side and iron out all those details. In the ARG working group, we also talked about the prize budget. So that's something that I'm working on right now. I have a lot of good suggestions from the working group and what they want to see in terms of different tiers and how much money or the value of the prizes we want to get. So I'm still just ironing out those details. We also spoke about communications classes at the college, like English and math and those sort of those classes. So I know G is has reached out on the college side for that, and hopefully we'll hear an update at our next ARG working group meeting, if not sooner. We've also, Janet mentioned this, we've been talking a little bit about policy review. So that's something that Janet and Taranjeet and Penny and I are going to be discussing with the outside facilitator. And all of those discussions, I'm sure, will be happening through the scope of the ARG working group. So we're excited to take on that work. And I think that's it for updates from my side. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions for Abdullah? Yes, Taranjeet, you may proceed.
Through Chair to Abdullah, how many applications have received so far for the Advising Council?
Oh, yeah. Advising Council, so far we have 11 applications.
Good.
So I've sorted them. They're ready to, whenever we close the application portal, which I think we decided in about 2 weeks from now we're going to be closing. They'll all be in one place, and then the ARG working group can decide on next steps, interviews, or whatever it is, and then from there we'll move on.
Perfect, thank you. Taranjeet, you can proceed with the next question as well.
A comment through Chair to Brad. Brad, I know there's a lot of programming stuff already going on, but can we just have Advising Council a little bit more pushed in between so that students are informed and we can get applications?
Yeah, for sure. We can put in some stuff through social media as well. We're currently working on a slightly updated look to the homepage, as Janet referenced in his board development officer update about looking at some improvements to the website. So one of the things we have there is breaking it into a have your say, events, and get involved pieces. And so we can get that front and center in the get involved as well as the Ashton B position.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad and Abdullah and Taranjeet. Do we have any further questions for Abdullah? Or any comments? Seeing no questions, I would like to thank Abdullah and move to the next item, which is Executive Director's Report by Penny.
Sorry. Hello and good evening. I'm just trying to find it. Okay. Great to see everyone here tonight. Just want to let you know that we are continuing to apply for the wage subsidy from the government. And tomorrow, Taranjeet will get our draft operating budget for his review. The election policy survey is done and has been distributed. And so far we have 11 returns from that survey. Also, the pillar survey is near completion and was sent out to the board, and we are awaiting for responses from the board if you've got any input on that survey. What Abdullah just said, the advisory council has received 11 applications, which is awesome. Abdullah and I are also developing a survey to be sent to Humber, Sheridan, Seneca, George Brown, Fanshawe, Durham, Mohawk, and Niagara regarding full-time and part-time staff salary ranges, honorarium ranges, as well as requests for a share of their operating budgets. So in the past 2 weeks, the committees I have participated on are staff and board members meeting, for our people in campus operations, for our campus services, managers meeting, ancillary working group, services working group, advocacy research governance working group, and IMS BCP. And also Tehran and I are continuing to meet on a weekly basis. Also, Tehran Bindia and I met with Laura from DrinkSmart, Laura Zeldin from DrinkSmart, and she's going to be invited to an upcoming programming events meeting working group to discuss resources that are available to us and how we can collaborate with them in the future. I also connected with Tim and Magdalena about training, and then we are looking forward to continuing our development of our leadership training framework, not only for this board, but for future boards. I also volunteered at Ashby in Progress as a welcome ambassador, as well as helping them pack up the welcome bags for new and returning students and staff. Brad and I have also met about completing our submission to the college regarding the COVID-19 second wave business continuity planning. I am continuing my work on staff recognition, bi-weekly staffing level review, appointed position hiring process, alumni association lease agreement, and reviewing and revising the Athletic and Wellness Center Management Agreement. Taron and I mentioned this morning, or earlier, not this morning, earlier today, that we were interviewed by Emily from the Office of Development and Alumni Engagement regarding our CCSAI contribution to student bursaries. And just so you know, our total from last year and this year to these bursaries is $276,921, which is a remarkable contribution. Finally, I just wanted to share with you, all of you, how nice it was to have dinner with the board on Friday. So great to see all of you, each of you in person, and thanks for such a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. Do we have any questions or comments for Penny? Yes, Tobias, you may proceed.
I have a quick question regarding the budget. So you guys are working currently on a survey asking other college associations and so on, and seeing how that will implement that. Will we have enough time to implement or kind of understand what we are on, what page we are on with our budget, like how it co-aligns?
I think we're just looking to other examples from other colleges to see if we can be doing it differently or better, and see what they're doing. But we can still do our process in the meantime.
Okay.
Yes, Ranjit, you may proceed. Sorry, Ranjit, you're not. Not.
Sorry. Through chair to device and the board. So, oh God, what was it? So it's more of learning how other colleges and student associations distribute their budget, what categories, what items they allot budget to. If we can get any ideas, we can learn from them. And also we talked, me and Penny talked on how we can have a budget for next year as well this time, because as per my experience and understanding, the budget should be in advance. For example, if we're doing it for now, it should be for the next year. Like we are telling the association what and where we can spend till next year, and not doing it in the middle of the year. So we are planning that if we will be able to do the budget for not only this year, but for the next year as well, because that makes a little bit more sense. Because for now we have already spent like 5-6 months until we approve the budget. 6 months will already been gone, and then we'll be approving the budget for this current year. But rather it should be in advance. So we are working around that as well. We will get more information on how things will go.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Ranjit, and thanks to BS. Do we have any questions or comments for Penny? Seeing no further questions or comments, I would like to thank Penny. And the next item on agenda is Centennial College update by Penny.
Okay, it's me again. So orientation is in full swing. Successful first week, and they're moving into the second week. The online curricular modules are in the final stages of development, and Kevin will share with you at the next full board meeting. Locker cleanout process is well underway. Students have until the end of this week to access campus and clear out all lockers. Grade appeal clinics in progress with the Student Experience Office and our very own advocates. Student life activities and events are continuing for the fall. Leadership programs, transition programs, rights and responsibility programs, and athletics and recreation programs. And finally, communications are going out to students regarding responsibilities of social distancing, both on and off campus. That's from Kevin Rajpal Singh.
Thanks, Penny. Do we have questions or comments for Penny? No further questions. I just have one question that I would like to address. I was on the EC app and I saw a few posts there regarding students expressing their concern on how they can get connected with the Success Advisor. They are available via My Sentinel, but some of the Success Advisors are not being able to be booked via the that specific place. So some of the success advisors, for example, my success advisor, they are available on Teams. I helped one other friend today, and they were not available either online and also on Teams. So if we can have any directions posted online that could help our students, that could be great.
Okay. I'll follow up.
Thank you.
No worries.
If we do not have any further questions or comments, we can move to the next item, which is other businesses. Do anyone have anything to discuss? I believe Tobias had one item. So Tobias, you can go ahead.
And just like, as I mentioned last board meeting, I just want to quickly raise the concern again that students at the Bombardier Center are still not sure what has been going on with OSAP. And the financial struggle is quite severe as we are moving forward. They're not sure about tuition, and we are supposed to pay tuition before we receive OSAP, about 3 days. And I have reached out to CCSAI, and they are working on it. However, they are only able to provide case-by-case answers. So if there's any suggestions on how I can inform these students or what I can do to help these students, I would really appreciate it moving forward.
Would anyone, Ranjit or Penny, would like to speak on it?
I think that Abdul is looking into it, and he'll follow up with you like tomorrow, Tobias, if that's okay. So he's looking into it.
Perfect, thank you.
I think if there's anything specific or any more information than you shared already, Tobias, that would be really super helpful too.
I am trying to get students to write in our suggestion box.
Yeah.
However, not many have done that, and we only had one case where a student has done so, and I'm hoping to get an answer to that particular.
So through the chair to the board, that's the issue, right? Like we need some like concrete examples that we can share with financial aid to figure out how to solve the problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. Do we have any further questions or any business items that we can discuss? I believe Arshdeep had an item. Arshdeep, if you would like to go ahead. Arshdeep, are you with us? So we can get back to this. I have a question, just a follow up for Brad. So Brad, do we have any updates on having our minutes online?
Yeah, so that will be a part of when we roll out the new front page. We'll have a link directly into the board central page that you and Taranjeet saw, and then it's just going to be a matter of getting those physical PDF files to get uploaded.
Perfect.
So I'll be working with Penny to have those, and hopefully by the time everyone is on campus on the 14th, we'll have that slightly or on campus, I guess, sorry, studying virtually and some on campus with the hybrid. We'll have that new look front page with a couple new direct links from what are up there now.
Perfect, that sounds great. Thank you. Since we have Arshdeep back, Arshdeep, would you like to address anything? You're muted.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's why I couldn't speak earlier. I didn't. So it's like I already shared that with all the board members, and through the chair to the board. I just want to say that like recently I received an email from Happy Life Wellness Center that our insurance MDM, like it wasn't providing coverage as it should have done according to their policy. This is what they wrote to me, and many students had to pay like $90 every time for their massage, which should have been covered. So now we are working more seriously on that insurance issue. I have reached back them as well, and I've asked them to suggest the students to email me directly or any other board member, so we can work like more quickly on this and resolve this issue as soon as possible. And we are soon planning to have a word with the insurance company as well. Thank you. That's all I want to say right now.
Thank you, Arshdeep. I believe we are working on this in our ARG working group. We didn't have the ARG working group this Tuesday, but definitely we'll be probably having next week as well. So I think we'll have this discussion once again. But thank you for addressing this. And I believe it would be a great idea if we can have Tranjeet, Penny, and Abdullah in the email so that they can also have the same idea of what students' concerns are facing. Do we have any other businesses to share? Yes, Brad. Okay.
Sorry, just to add to that point, any of those items that are coming in that you have the questions about, where possible, folks can put that into the suggestion box. It would be fantastic. It is completely confidential. They don't even have to leave an email or follow-up contact. It's just a means that we can then put it into a database for issues management and sort of be able to really track well what the trends are and things coming into us.
Perfect. Thank you for addressing that, Brad. And thank you, Steve. Do we have any questions from social media? Lavi and Sophie, do we have any questions from there?
This is Donna. I have just a question for Arshdeep before we move forward. Is that okay?
Sure, you can go ahead.
All right. So through the chair to Arshdeep, in terms of the massages not being covered, is it that they are not covered at all, or is it the fact that they have to pay up front and then submit a claim to get their reimbursement?
Yeah, through the chair to Donna and everybody. It was like what I like the email. It wasn't like very detailed, I would say. It was kind of a brief summary which they gave to me. Okay. And moreover, they said that like the physiotherapy massages, they were not covered. And because like, you know, these wellness centers, I'm pretty sure that before they say to students that we can take you in without like any upfront, because they checked the insurance policies and they had checked it was supposed to be covered as of what they had written, but they rejected the claims. So that's why students themselves had to pay. So that's what my interpretation from the email was. And I would definitely love to forward it to you as well. Okay. You can also have a look at that.
Yeah, no, I just thought I would ask because I mean, sometimes they don't honor any injuries that are pre-existing. It's, you know, the fine print stuff. And sometimes students don't quite understand that until they've already had the service done. I know we're Penn and Tehran, we're doing a webinar with the domestic plan. Would it be maybe beneficial to do something with GuardMe? Because I've sat in on a couple of in-person sessions. Hi, Penny. Go ahead. She's pointing at me.
You can go ahead.
Through the chair to the board, we're looking at revisiting the sessions for domestic and international about the health plans this fall. So that's on our radar.
Yeah, just for clarification. Thank you. Thanks, Arshdeep.
Thank you. We do not have any questions from Facebook and YouTube. So yes, Penny, you can go ahead.
No, I just want to get a clarification, Brad. I'm looking to you about tomorrow when we're all on campus about signing off on the welcome cards. If you can just explain what we all need to do tomorrow.
Certainly, I think the hope for the welcome cards is that, so they're printed up on a 4x6 with about a 2.5 by 3.5 inch window. And the idea is just to write a quick handwritten 1 or 2 word greeting or welcome and sign the card. Just to say, glad to have you at Centennial, Janet. Can't wait to see you when campus opens, Taranjeet. That kind of thing.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay.
Yes,
Tobias. So we can have Tobias first and Arshdeep go next. Yes, Tobias?
I just want to ask Jania and Java if how you guys are enjoying your position. How's that been going?
through the chair to the board and to Tobias. I think it's a great experience. These great appeal clinics, we've been learning a lot. We've had the privilege to shadow some of the sessions, so that was very meaningful in helping us to do it on our own. So I think it's a great experience, and we're learning, and I think it's wonderful. Yeah.
Awesome.
Javier, you can go ahead if you'd like.
Through the chair to Tobias. Yeah, as Gina mentioned it, we have participated in the advocacy clinics with the student experience advisors. We have learned a lot. We have received several cases from students from different reasons. We are still learning about the different policies and procedures that the college has. So it's really exciting for us to learn about different policies and meet new people, and well, try to help students as much as we can, because every case is completely different. So we had to look for how we can help the students, well, as students, because we are students. Well, we are student advocates, but we are still students, trying to get help from coordinator, chairs, and different people from the college. But it's really good for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina and Javier, and thank you, Tobias, for your question. We can have last two questions, and one is from Erstep. You can go ahead.
Through the chair to the board, and Brad, I just want to ask something about tomorrow. Like, is it gonna be like a printed thing, and we just gonna sign, or we have to write the thing and sign, and like what?
Through the chair to Arshdeep. So it will be a pre-printed card, but we are looking for a quick greeting from you that is written, and then a signature as well. So it will literally just be a blank space on a card that says welcome, similar to the graphic that'll be on the t-shirts, and then it's just glad you're here, Arshdeep.
Okay.
Thank you. Any last questions or comments? We're just taking the last one. And if we have none, we can move to the good of the board.
Pratik has his hand.
Pratik, you can go ahead.
Through the chair to board, like, do we have any like check on the Ashton B campus? Like, are the students there being covered? Like, are their voices be heard?
I think that's a great question, Penny and Turnjit.
Well, even though we do not have any specific representation at this time, but I think the problems that students are facing in current situation is mostly similar. And with the opportunities of suggestion box, virtual meetings with me, I think they're definitely reaching out, and will be reaching out if there's anything. But we also have our Ashton B position open. Correct me if I'm wrong, Penny, but we haven't received any applications yet, but very much positive that once the semester starts, we may get students applying for the Ashton B vice president role.
Thank you, Turnjit. I think we got a suggestion from Tobias. Maybe we can go out and give the campus a visit. Yep, Turnjit, you can go ahead.
Not very much sure if we can do with all the restrictions, but maybe what we can do is we can have some posters up on how they can connect with us. You know, not everyone is on social media, but I know that many students are already going at Ashton B campus for their courses. And if we can have, Brad, maybe you can speak on that. If we can have some posters going up, that can help to inform them. Yes, thank you, Brad.
So through the chair to the board, so we are currently developing, have ready to print out for tomorrow. Tobias had requested some posters about the suggestion box and how to get in touch with the CCSAI for folks studying at Downsview/Bombardier Center. And so we can certainly print some additional copies of that to be put up around Ashton B when someone is available to post.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, Pratik.
Through the chair to Taranjit, do we have any concerns from the previous years for the Ashton B campus so that we can follow up on that?
Well, one thing that through chair to Pratik, the one thing that I remember is that the engagement level of Ashton B campus was significantly low compared to other campuses. However, that is not a major concern because we are not on campus anyways. However, because the demographics of that campus are really very different than any other campus, mostly are mature students. So I think we once we get our posters down there, that can help to make them aware on what they can do. If they have any concerns, any problems, they can reach out.
Perfect. Thank you. Donna has a question. Donna, can we have a quick question here?
Sure. Just a suggestion. I mean, I think we've all done the welcome ambassador thing at campuses. Ashton B also has a welcome ambassador program. I mean, might it be valuable for us to request or put in a recommendation to have a table during the hours of the welcome ambassadors where we could actually, display the student association logo, let the students know that we're here, hand out the president's card, hand out Brad's card, Penny's card, everybody's card, and let them know that we're here even though we're not on site. Would that be a good opportunity to connect with them next week?
I think that's a great idea. Sure, Penny, we can discuss this probably in one of the working groups, but yes, we can definitely get into this.
Okay, I feel like that's a recommendation that we may actually get approved at each campus if we just had some representation just to, welcome students, welcome them as we have been doing as ambassadors, but then to put our student association spin and perspective on it and let them know the things that we have to offer. Just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, once again. Moving on to the last second item, which is for the good of the board. I would like to open the floor for everyone.
To chair to the whole board, thank you very much for the meeting. Indeed, very great one. Looking forward to work on different issues that we are currently working on and having the solutions provided to students. And all the best to all the members, board members, for tomorrow's training and the videos. I unfortunately won't be able to make it tomorrow. And indeed, it was great to meet Penny and the board in person. And looking forward to more trainings if we can have on campus. Yeah, and thank you very much. Have a great evening and good night.
Thank you so much, Taranjit. Anyone else who would like to join? Tobias, go ahead.
I just want to quickly thank you for implementing the other business part into our board meetings. I think it opens up a whole new perspective of other conversations that we can have on the side. And thank you all for having such a initiative meeting today. And thank you all for joining. And have a good night.
Thank you so much. I think we can also, moving forward, kind of have a certain time period allocated specific to board other business, so that we can focus on questions as well as also make sure that we are in the time frame. And yes, happy birthday, Tobias. We can all probably unmute once and wish him birthday.
Yes, we should say
happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Tobias.
Happy
birthday to you. And many more.
I promised I wouldn't sing, so happy birthday, Tobias.
Thank you.
I just want to say, a big thumbs up to Janeet for being a great part of this meeting. You do a great job. You all do, but Janine, very well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Donna.
Great chair. I've seen a few in my day. Great chair.
Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot to share this with all of you. So I had a really good opportunity. I'm thankful for this to be on the radio. I was on radio this Sunday, where I was sharing my views and suggestions and my experience basically as a board of director over here and as in CSA, and how can students get involved with their student associations in any of their colleges. Plus, how can they actually utilize their resources, and how can they use the resources that a student association then that can provide, and how can they get involved with that? So yes, that's
Congrats.
it.
Congratulations. A star in the making.
Thank you so much. So if you do not have any further comments, moving on to the next item, which is the next meeting is going to be on September 20th. And if you do not have any further questions, the last item is adjournment. So can I have a motion for adjournment?
Ranjit.
Ranjit?
Tobias.
Tobias. Launching the poll here. All 5 votes received. Showing the results. All 5 in favor, none opposed, none abstained. Motion passed. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you guys next week in the school board.